D.R. Horton, the home construction company, is known as America's builder. But not every D.R. Horton customer is living the American dream.
Oh, D.R. Horton, why? It's bad enough Americans are struggling to actually find a home, but now people who have found a home are buying your homes, and they turn out to be pretty bad. As a matter of fact, they're become the house from hell. America's builder has become the subject of many lawsuits, many complaints. There's even a website out there called D.R. Horton Sucks. So what is going on with this home builder? Why do they keep building such a poor product? Let's get into that right now. Thanks for coming back to my channel to get your dose of real estate reality and to educate you, to help you whether you're selling or buying a home. Hopefully you'll take this information to help you advocate for yourself on your next real estate transaction. As we all know, Americans these days are struggling to actually find a home. So there are a lot of options out there with new construction. D.R. Horton, unfortunately, has been delivering a very poor product. There's a lot of news stories out there about homeowners of these D.R. Horton homes who are struggling with all the problems that they're having. And I wanted to share that with you today to help educate you and make you aware of what's going on. Now, if you're in the market for buying new construction, I'm going to share with you some tips on what you can do to avoid these problems happening to you when you're buying any new construction home, not just D.R. Horton. So let's get into this first news story. Oh my God, I can't believe what these people have been dealing with.
I could not look at that house and not see a time bomb.
Like I say, D.R. Horton, they have left a very bad taste in my mouth.
I've never had the house that I paid for.
Over and over again, we've heard the countless stories about D.R. Horton homes. Since we first revealed in May the many complaints and lawsuits against D.R. Horton here in the Lowcountry, homeowners statewide have reached out sharing their own horror stories, like Nicole Willis of Santee.
That is what my fear is, that D.R. Horton's just going to haul butt and leave us stranded with this nightmare.
Willis moved into her brand new D.R. Horton home in 2023, experiencing problems with the stormwater pond behind her property built by the company and sold to homeowners as an amenity, which she says is now more trouble than it's worth, constantly flooded with no upkeep or filtration.
When the water got really nasty, they just quit coming, and there was this nasty film on top of it.
And the complaints are not limited to South Carolina. We received dozens of messages and emails from D.R. Horton customers located all throughout the nation, sharing their negative experiences from Georgia, Florida, Texas, and even as far as Nevada, Arizona, and California.
I was like, man, this is turning out to be a house from hell.
PJ Skipper purchased his D.R. Horton home in Locust Grove, Georgia in 2019. Almost immediately, he started noticing the issues. Air conditioning constantly out, bent nails everywhere, defective plywood, and hundreds of maggots in the trash left by construction workers. He said he had to use his own money to fix the issues without word from his warranty provider and D.R. Horton.
Here in my neighborhood, a lot of people have sold their homes, and they figure, you know what, it's best just to sell and get out.
But that's not an option for him. Neither is it for Isaac Ortiz in Las Vegas, Nevada, nor is it for Danielle Antonucci in Sarasota, Florida, and Jason Warren in San Antonio, Texas.
All right, selling is not an option, at least for most people in this situation. Now, I feel for these people. They're saying, just go and sell a home. Not that easy to do. Because here's the problem. If you own a home in a new construction community, number one, a pre-existing home is not going to be able to command the same price as a brand new build. Okay, now couple that with all the problems that are going on with the home. Do you think people are going to want to buy that? No, people aren't going to want to buy a house with problems. So then the homeowner is going to have to shell out thousands of dollars to get these problems resolved before putting it on the market. So it's going to cost these homeowners a lot of money. They're probably not going to be able to recoup what they paid for. So that's not a way out for them. It's not an option. So I get what people are saying, just sell the house. It's not that easy to do.
We asked every D.R. Horton homeowner that we interviewed what they think should be done to hold the massive builder more accountable.
The government needs to do something.
I do think the the like federal level potentially has some play is when you start talking like compounding effects.
But when dealing with problems involving a multi-billion-dollar home builder such as D.R. Horton, homeowners say they have to turn to their subcontractors or local and state agencies for relief. Here in the Low Country, not only has there been no enforcement action against D.R. Horton, but inspection reports show inspectors were signing off on homes with known problems months before move-in. The latter feel like with the responsibility on their shoulders, it's added insult to injury.
We're left as the homeowners holding the bag. And like I say, most times we may have to come out of our pocket.
These stories are heartbreaking. They ruin families financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, all of that, it's devastating.
So as you saw in this video, it's not only to South Carolina, right? There's D.R. Horton homes that were built in other parts of the country and people are having issues. I wanted to share this next story with you from a couple from Louisiana and all the mold that they've been experiencing. Oh my gosh.
West and Alicia Dixon bought this brand new home in Youngsville in 2014. Several years later, the problems started to arise.
We started smelling the mold, I guess, about 3 or 4 years after. I kept getting sick with respiratory issues. But we had the house tested. No one found anything. And then friends of ours had mold in their house and asked if someone could come and inspect. And when they came, they told us that we had the 3rd worst house in the neighborhood full of mold.
According to the Dixons, the faulty HVAC design and building envelope does not work here in South Louisiana with the high humidity, which has caused the mold and water damage.
When they built the house, they didn't create enough attic space. So our house is essentially acting like a vacuum and pulling the heat in, which is creating the moisture.
News 15 Investigates acquired this audio from a conversation back in 2021 between then D.R. Horton City Manager of Louisiana's West Division, Leslie Gullickson, and a disgruntled D.R. Horton homeowner here in Acadiana. She admits they knew certain building envelopes were not suited for South Louisiana's climate.
The code that was built was designed for drier climates. And we have issues along the Gulf Coast where we're very humid with this, the houses being built too tight, but we're building them to the way the federal government says to build them. The man who actually wrote the code did a seminar and said, with the AC people, he said, I never intended that to be the rules in the South.
The lead attorney in this class action lawsuit, Lance Unglesby, is representing families from Lake Charles to Slidell who bought these homes. He says new results just back from mold tests show these homes have elevated levels of mold that are harmful. And he says D.R. Horton has to be held accountable.
These guys are fraudsters. I mean, they need to be kicked out of Louisiana. Bell Mechanical is a Louisiana company. They need to be kicked out of Louisiana. These people need to be shut down. They can't do quality work.
So did you catch this? This was from 2014. These people built this house in 2014. It's now 2024 and they're still having issues with this. And it's gotten so bad now there's a class action lawsuit against D.R. Horton. Oh my God. Like, why is it taking so long for these people to get answers, to get a response from D.R. Horton? Unacceptable. And what is D.R. Horton's response to all of this?
In response to our investigation, a D.R. Horton spokesperson gave the following statement, reading in part, "We take great pride in the quality of D.R. Horton homes and have helped more than 1 million individuals and families across the United States achieve the dream of home ownership. Our team takes all homeowner concerns very seriously and is committed to customer satisfaction."
Of course, they're going to say that they're committed to their customer satisfaction. But you know what? Words are cheap. They need to do some serious action here. What I think the right thing is to do is they just need to either go in and fix it or just pay these people for what they had to shell out to fix these problems. These are serious, serious problems. That mold issue, that's going to lead to like long-lasting health problems. Totally unacceptable. So what does one do then if you want to avoid these problems when buying a new construction home? This is what I will tell you. You got to bring in an outside inspector to inspect every phase of that build. And I will tell you, the construction manager who's ever overseeing your home being built, and even the salespeople, they'll probably discourage you and tell you, no, you don't need to have a home inspector. That's what we're here for. We have people checking this stuff for you. We're checking the build for you. Do not trust them. And I'm sorry to say that. This goes for any builder. Bring in an independent home inspector to check when the framing's done have them check that. When the drywall is up, have them come in and check the drywall, the electrical, the HVAC, all the things. It's going to cost you money. It will. But in the end, this could save you a lot of heartache, headache, and thousands of dollars in repairs. So just do yourself that favor. Bring in an independent inspector to look at every phase of the build to make sure everything is being built correctly. And if things aren't done correctly, you fight them on it and make sure it's done the right way. And if they're going to fight you on it and they're going to argue about it, walk away from the house. Walk away from it. It is not worth it. You do not want to be in the same situation as these poor homeowners are in. And now they're stuck in these homes. They can't get help. It's costing them thousands of dollars, and it's just affecting their quality of life all over. It's not right. And you don't want to be in that position. Do yourself a favor. Get yourself a home inspector to check every phase of that new build. Hey, I just want to remind you really quick, if you are in need of a real estate agent in your area, whether you're selling or buying a home, click the link down below in the description box, fill out the form, and I will happily get you connected to a real estate agent in your area. Look, unfortunately, people do have a lot of regrets when buying a home, but you don't have to be regretful when buying a home, because you know why? I got some great content right here. I suggest you guys watch these videos so you get some really great information to help you avoid having regrets yourself. Thank you so much for watching me today. To get your dose of real estate reality, my name is Jackie Baker, and I will see you next time.